How many gentlemen were brought here by their wives to do this? Can y'all stand? I want to see everybody on the guys that their wife had them do this. You too. I know it was you. Here's going to be a little story on my end. I went to a Super Saturday, but I didn't know where I was going. My wife said, "This Saturday morning, let's go out, we're going to do a few things." I said, "Okay, honey, we're going to go." She said, "Oh, wait, we're going to stop. I want you to see this presentation." I went from that little kid going to Walmart to go to the toy section to, I'm going to the doctor. I was not happy. I walked in that room pissed off. My arms were crossed, my legs were crossed. I had the fear of God in my face. You can see you didn't want to look at me. Went through the presentation. I met this lady called Ashley Rowland. She came to me and said, "I'm going to make you smile." Now, she took a picture with me, and it was the worst picture you ever would see. See, look. So she came after it, and she talked to me and said, "Why are you like this?" I said, "I've done this once before. They got the carpet swept out from under me. I lost everything. I'm never going to do this again." So after the meeting, we go outside. We have an adult conversation, which I lost, as usual. Okay? And she says, "I'm going to do this." I said, "I'm not." She said, "Give me a month. Give me a month. I'm going to do the product. Give me a month." What she did was measure me, weigh me, write it down for me. In a month, I saw all the things. She said, "Okay, I'm ready to do this. Where's my box?" I sold it. I said, "Okay, so we ordered another packs." It's like, they come in, I said, "There's my box." She said, "Nope, sold it." Like four sections in buying, she finally had me a box. So in 2022, I had my knee replaced. In 2024, I had it done again. Full replacement. In between though, I discovered MOA about a month before I had to do the second surgery. I'm going, there's nothing wrong with my knee. I don't want to do the second replacement. But I pulled the mechanism loose from both sides. So had to get done. Takes a little longer to do. It takes about 2 years to recover after your second one. I'm about, like I said, that was April on 24. So I'm a little over a year and a half done. I do MOA every day. If you ask me what I take, today's Saturday. I took Saturday. That's all I know. All I know is Saturday. We started the business right about April of 24, right? And I'm part-time doing it, not a whole lot. Come December of 24, Christmas present, my work calls and says, "You coming back?" I said, "I'm trying to, but the doctors won't release me." He says, "You're not 100% by April, you're done." Been there 17 years. 17 years of commitment to this place. And they said, "You come back 100%? Nope, you're done. You lose your benefits, you lose your pay, the whole 9 yards." We started getting serious about Barnacle. Have I gotten everything back that I started with, making what I was there? Not yet, but I'm getting there. Our goal is to have her retired by June. Retired being April, or retired.
All right.
We're doing good. Our goal is for her to thank. Now I'm going to turn it over to her, because her total story is, I had to tell you all this, because I can't get through their story after. You're going to see why. And for 19 months, 20 months, every time I hear it, I can't make it through it. So we're going to let her tell her story.
Okay, so I know I have to be quick because I'm watching the time, but I'm a correctional nurse. I'm a nurse that goes out to the prison and cares for the individuals out there. I've done that for probably 17, 18 years. Love it, actually do love it. But back in 2014, give or take, we had a child back in 2000.
Number 6.
Yeah, number 6 for us. And he had lots of medical issues when he was born, and we could never figure out what was going on. As time went on, we finally found out he had Chiari malformation. And if you don't know what that is, that's where the brain grows outside the skull and it grows down to the spinal canal. And the only way to relieve that pressure so that he doesn't have long-term effects is to have brain surgery.
Oh, Jesus.
So at 4 years old, my 4-year-old had a 12-hour surgery It was probably the most calm I've ever been in my entire life. I actually took 2 years off of nursing after that to care for him, and during that time, because I was so, everything. He was listed at malnutrition, failure to thrive. I was counting, I didn't know how much calories were in one Cheeto to make sure he got his calorie intake for the day, just to push something on him. And so I took 2 years off. Of course, my stress level was crazy, and so my weight picked up. I got to almost 300 pounds, and I've tried everything under the sun to do, to get the weight off, and it just would not come off. So right before we started doing Partner Go, I managed to talk to my doctor to get me on these wonderful, crazy shots that everybody was getting on. And I begged him, and they were so scarce everywhere that I literally was calling every pharmacy in the state of Virginia to find these shots, because I've been driven them to go get them. Because I was so sick and tired of being heavy, being stressed out, carrying all the weight. So my husband did not know that I got on these shots. Every Friday, I would give myself a shot. And I'm just going to put it out there, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I would not have a bowel movement for the entire week. I would give myself a shot again on Friday, and waterworks flu. If it wasn't coming out of my mouth, it was coming out the backside, and my stomach was cramping so bad I couldn't stand it.
I did ask questions. You know what she told me? It's something I ate. Well, I'm the cook.
So I did it for a month and a half. It was horrible. And then the last time I did it, I broke out in hives. I broke out in sweats. I'm not a huge sweater, but I was looking like I had just gotten out of the shower. And I looked down at my stomach, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know what it feels like to have a baby in your belly. And it looked like something was moving in my stomach.
Ooh.
And I was like, I told him, I said, we gotta go to the emergency room. He's like, what's wrong? And I said, we gotta go. And he goes, are you gonna tell me what you're doing now? And I told him. Of course, I got ringed out, not really ringed out, but we had a talking to on the way to the hospital.
Those adult conversations. I might have won, but I'm not sure.
Got to the hospital, and my labs, of course, were crazy. I had depleted my potassium. My potassium was about 2.5, if not a little bit less, which is extremely low, and I'm lucky I did not have some cardiac event. And that's what kind of threw all this into place, because
They told me, you're lucky I wouldn't bring you in there to hearse. Be honest.
It was bad. So they infused me with 2 bags of potassium. I had to take 4 tablets of oral potassium, and it was the absolute worst thing that I ever had to experience. But after that, I had to follow up with my doctor, and he told me that my thyroid levels were still off, and I'm like, he said, we need to talk about increasing your medicine, and increasing your thyroid medicine. I said, no. I had these drops in my hand because Fred Duff had been dripping on me for a year about these drops, and I didn't want anything to do with it. So I took these drops to the doctor, and I said, what about these drops? And he's looking at me at first like I'm crazy, because I just got out of the hospital, and now I want to try these drops. So he looked at it, and he's like, well, I don't see anything wrong with it. Methylated B12, that's even better. He said, okay, I'm going to give you a month, and then if nothing's better, you're coming back, we're going to talk about increasing your medicine. I said, okay, we'll do that. So also had to follow up with GI, and they did all kinds of tests on me and all this stuff, and they're like, oh, you don't have to see the X-ray. I said, I don't want to know, what is my thyroid? What is my thyroid now? When I went to the doctor, it was 2.98. When I went, and after being on the drops about a month and a week, my thyroid was the lowest it has ever been in my entire life. I went down to my chart all the way back to 2019, and the lowest it had ever been was 1.8, and my thyroid at that time was 1.6. And I was thrilled to death. So when it all comes down to it, my story, what I plan on saying today, totally changed after hearing everybody talk about their whys and seeing Darren with his son, because I know what it is to have your son go through a surgery that could kill him, or could be detrimental. So I'm just going to sum it up with what my why is, because I feel like if you put your why out there to everybody, that you're kind of held accountable to uphold what your why stands for. And this is why I do what I do, because it's just what I do. So my why is, it says, I want to live my life on my own terms, not someone else's. I want the freedom to spend time with the people who matter the most to me. My husband, our children, all 6 of them, because we are a blended family, but especially my youngest son, Brandon. Making memories together means everything to me, and I don't ever want to miss those moments because of someone else's schedule. I also have such a big heart for helping others, seeing someone feel better and live healthier, because something I shared with them is one of the greatest joys in my life. This isn't just about a business for me, it's about creating a life of freedom, purpose, and impact. I want to do something that's truly mine without a boss watching my every move. It's about stepping into my own power, putting my family first, and making a difference in the lives of others along the way.